What's up guys? My name is Daniel and we are doing a game haul for the month of July. This is not something I've done before, to be fair. I've had to take a huge break on game collecting because just personal stuff, but I'm trying to get back into it, and I figured what better way than Goodwill. I started Goodwill and I found a lot of games that honestly, I kind of guilty pleasures, I guess. That's the best way to put it. They've been guilty pleasures for me. So I'm going to go ahead and go bag by bag. I have 3 bags and then a surprise little extra at the bottom here. So we're going to go through that one by one. Okay, so the first game we're working with is Wii Music. I paid $4.99 for this. This is one of those guilty pleasure kind of games. I've never played it. I've just seen that is a joke. It's an absolute joke of a game. But you know, it really does have that like Wii flair. Like this is a part of the Touch Generations line of games, and there were a lot of good ones, to be fair. Brain Age, I think, is something a lot of people probably remember the most. But yeah, Wii Music has always been one of those things that I'm just like, I want that, and I've never been able to find it at a good price or just the right time. And I figured, you know what? Let's just really set the bar low getting back into game collecting. Yeah, it was complete in box too. So disc, to be fair, I didn't actually inspect the disc. It's a little dirty, but it does have, it doesn't have any major scratches. And yeah, completely here has the Nintendo code for Club Nintendo. And this is a chonky manual. This is crazy. This is a very thick manual. So, complete in box, which I absolutely love. Now, I'm not a stickler for complete in box, to be fair. I don't always focus on... I try to focus more on just the cover art more than anything. I don't even care if it's an original case, because I can replace that later. I don't really look through the manuals on these games. So, again, I really just like the cover art, and I like to have a good copy of the game. Those are like my minimums. But yeah, for Goodwill to have complete in box, which is actually a trend here, because the next game we're working with is Excitebox. Excite Bots Trick Racing. Yeah, this is a Nintendo published game. This is kind of crazy because it was also $4.99, and this is another game that I know it's not. Again, it's at a Goodwill for $5 for a reason. But what really got me was, again, complete in box. This is also something I like to do, is any any receipts that I get with my games, I put them in the case. I don't know, it's like a little novelty thing, but yeah, complete in box here with the manual. Clean, very clean. That's actually cleaner than Wii Music. So clearly whoever played Wii Music really played the game. Yeah, I don't know anything about this. I just know that it was, you know, a Nintendo published title. It didn't sell very well. I believe it's a part of the, like, Excitebike genre family of games, I guess you could say, which I do love Excitebike. I didn't grow up with the NES. I don't have a lot of nostalgia for the NES. I respect it for what it is. But Excitebike is one of those games that if I grew up in the 80s and had an NES, I would have played the hell out of Excitebike. That I think was the Mario Kart, right, that we had, that everyone had back in the day before the Super Nintendo brought that to us. So yeah, Excitebots Trick Racing. Haven't played it yet. I'm going to do a separate video on some of these games, especially ones that I think are going to be more interesting to dive into. I think this one is going to be one of them for sure. The final game that I got from Goodwill for $3.99 is Sports Champions for the PS3. I've always wanted this game. I have PlayStation Move, but I've never really played a PS Move specific game. Every game I have are games that they pushed the feature into. Games like Killzone 3, Ghost Recon, Future Soldier I have. There's some games I would love to get. Puppeteer, I believe it's Puppeteer. That's a game that, you know, has a lot of good PS Move, and also I think it's called Sorcery or Sorcerer, one of the two. That's a game, has the spell book. The game that comes with the spell book. I really want that. I almost bought it a few times on eBay, but, you know. And as you can tell, this was, I'm pretty sure this was pretty much a bundled game with a PS Move thing. I have, like I said, I have the camera, I have the Joy-Con, or the controllers, the Joy-Cons, what am I doing? I have the motion controller, obviously, from the PSVR. And yeah, I just felt like, you know, like, if you're going to get motion controls, you got to have your little sports compilation. And this is it, $3.99. Again, complete in box. Here's my receipt from that. But yeah, absolutely. Oh, here we are. Look at this. Look at, here's more PS Move. Maybe I will look into these. I've heard actually good things about iPet and Kung Fu Rider. I think Kung Fu Riders actually cost a bit of money. But yeah, I don't know. That's actually kind of cool. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what it is about Goodwill, or the people just getting rid of their games at Goodwill. Look at some secondary cover art. Here's an exclusive here. I didn't realize. That's kind of cool. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, but Sports Champions for the PlayStation 3, $3.99. You can't really go wrong with that, I don't think. So I'll take it. I think it's a good pickup for sure. These next two bags here are actually from a different store called The Cave. I think it's exclusive out here in Northern California, in the Sacramento area, Folsom. Definitely recommend checking them out. They do way more than video games. Actually, I would argue that video games is not their specialty. It's really hit or miss. They do more music, movies, vinyls, collectibles, like stupid collectibles too. Like they have the Simpsons statue. They have a Simpsons statue. They have a Nintendo Switch kiosk. Like all kinds of crazy cool shit that you would want in like a man cave is kind of the theme of the store. They do sell clothes. They sell shoes. My wife actually got a pair of pink, I think they were Converse as well. And those were really good. So yeah. Definitely a great store, very unique to what it is. I appreciate that they exist because 2 bags of games here. I went to 2 different cave locations, so that's what we're going to look at. I think we're going to start with this bag here. So yeah, because actually before I went to the cave, there's another store called Half Price Books. I think that one's a little more nationwide for sure. And at Half Price Books, I did make a YouTube short on this, so maybe go check that out. But that was Ugly Dolls, An Imperfect Adventure for $9.99. My daughter, I have a 4-year-old daughter, and she loves playing video games with me. But a lot of the games I own are not really her speed. So I've been trying to pick up some Switch games that are more for her age group, right? And so far I have games like Cocomelon and Baby Shark. I did pick up Bluey the video game, but I only have that on PlayStation because that's also one of my favorites. I have, The Grinch, How the Grinch Stole Christmas. Also I have on PlayStation because I wanted that for me. Ugly Dolls, I do love the movie. I think it's good. My son loves it for sure. But this is not something that I am desiring to play through. If I do, again, it'll be with her. It does have 1 to 2 player, split screen co-op, tabletop mode, all that stuff. So this is something that she will probably play on the Switch Lite that I have laying around the house, or I'll play with her on the TV. This one was not complete in box. I don't think that this probably had a manual, but good condition cartridge. The sticker was good. Assuming this was like a kid owned this, right? Good sticker on the cartridge and everything. And then, of course, the receipt, which, I don't know, $9.99. I think that's about market value. Half Price Books usually is really good about selling things under market value. But they do say that newer games or newer consoles, they kind of stick closer to what things are going for. And I looked on eBay, hovering around $9 to $12. So $9.99, can't complain with that. I think my daughter will be really happy with it. Now, after I went to Half Price Books, that is when I started. Oh, actually, no, I lied. This actually I picked up before I went to Goodwill. This is Ratchet & Clank, the collection. I've been trying to get all of these collection, these gold label games of PlayStation 2 games that were remastered on PS3. I actually picked this up earlier in the month. I think it was like right after 4th of July. I should probably started with this, but this was not really a game collecting thing, and more of like, this is just, I want to play these games. I don't want to stream them. I don't want to download them on my PS5. I want like to own it, right? And this is what allows me to do that. This was just unfortunately just the game, but all 3 games are on the disc. Gotta love that. I paid $35 for it with my pro membership, and I think I had a $5 coupon. But yeah, all 3 games. This is Ratchet & Clank, Ratchet & Clank Going Commando, and Ratchet & Clank Up Your Arsenal. So, excited to play through this, and then I'm going to pick up, hopefully, Ratchet & Clank from, I think it was 2016, if I'm not mistaken, and then Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart. So, I really want to get into Ratchet & Clank. I love Insomniac, I love Spider-Man, I've played a little bit of the first Ratchet & Clank. I see a lot of that. I see where the DNA is, right, in their game design and the way they operate. So hopefully, you know, again, really excited to jump into that. Okay, so this is the final bag. This is everything I got from the Cave stores. So that first bag, I went to 2 locations. I forgot that I had put Ugly Dolls and Ratchet & Clank in one bag, and I, you know, solidified everything from the Cave into its own bag. Actually, to the point that they actually gave me a little, I don't even know what this is. Oh, this is for the shoes. Here we are, $14.99. Yeah, used shoes. So that's the tag to my wife's shoes, I guess. Go ahead and just pull all of these out. Something felt sticky. I don't like that. So this was another game that I had made a short for. So go check that out. Show some support, guys. Homefront for PlayStation 3. I sold this game during a life event that, you know, has kind of put everything on pause, or did put everything on pause. I love this game. I love Homefront. It's one of the earliest PS3 games that I ever played after getting my PS3, I think in like 2010, 2011. One of the first games I played. Just the idea of the US being invaded is always like such a interesting concept to an American typically, right? 'Cause that's not really something that happens. So, you know, any game that entertains that idea is good. And yeah, complete in box. I was really happy to see that. Ew, gross. Remember when that was a thing? That you needed a multiplayer code to get online? That's disgusting. Well, luckily I bought this for the story. I love the story. So that's what we're doing. But yeah, $7.99? No, $6.99. I thought that was a good price for it, honestly. If you haven't played Homefront, play it. I have not played Homefront Revolution, honestly. So actually, if you have any information on that, let me know, because I think I've almost bought it on sale a few times now, and I just don't, because I know it's not the same. So whatever. But Homefront, 10 out of 10, recommend. Now, the second game I got at the Cave was Mod Nation Racers for $4.99. Oh, is that the sticky? They put a little Scotch tape on here to try to stop people from taking the games out, which, you know, maximum security, DEFCON 1, all that jazz. But yeah, this was not complete in box, unfortunately, but this is a game I have always wanted. I just never did. I had a Mod Nation Racers demo on my PlayStation Vita before I sold that, and I didn't really love it. But I've been on Reddit, been on Google, whatnot, and everyone says PS3, you know, this is the game. Mod Nation Racers, this is the one to get. And I've always told myself, oh, I'll get it later, because it's always so cheap. So I'm like, I'll get it later, I'll see it, and there's other games I'd rather get right now. I figured jumping back into this, it's probably the time to get those games that were too cheap to buy, right? Like it's one of those games that you kind of discredit, you put it lower on the list. This was one of those games, so figured, you know, for $4.99, why the heck not? I feel like just getting to make your own carts and tracks is going to be fun. I know the online stuff is shut down, which sucks, but, you know, there's still some merit to be had on being able to, you know, make your own stuff. And I do think there's like a little story mode or Grand Prix kind of thing going on here, so I'm sure I'll have a lot of fun with that. Yeah, Mod Nation Racers. And the final game that I got from the Cave is The Simpsons Skateboarding. This is a game that I have always wanted, and I could easily, again, you just get on eBay and grab any game you want. The internet is infinite. There's, every opportunity to get whatever it is you want. But this is a game I wanted to just find in the wild. For $15.99, I think, yeah, $15.99 is what I paid. Oh, stickers there too. I'm not very bright. Yeah, this was also complete in box. So I'm really happy about that. Case is very questionable. I'll probably do a case swap for this later. But it is an original. It is a PlayStation 2 case. But yeah, they have an ad here for Simpsons Road Rage. Not a huge fan of. I prefer Simpsons Hit and Run, but I'm a huge fan of like Tony Hawk games. So, that was something I don't know, figured Simpsons skateboarding sounds really fun. My only concern with this, and I need to try this, there's a 7-day return policy at the cave. But this disc is so scratched. And it's a blue disc. So, I know that these can be finicky. My PS3 I'm using for backwards compatibility to play PS2 games and stuff. I think this should be fine. Should not have any issues. But yeah, I'm a little worried about the disc. I made sure to ask about that. And yeah, the guy told me that 7 days. So I got to try that out. Probably later tonight, actually, because I'm really excited for this game. This is one of the games that I've always wanted. And again, it's just something that I just kind of wanted to get naturally, I guess, right? Like there's some games that feel special more when you just come across them in the wild versus clicking buy on a website. Like, it's kind of too easy. Game hunting, game collecting, I think it's fun to search and find and look for the games. So that's what this one was all about. So we'll definitely be doing a video on this game. I'm happy with it. I think this is a good selection of games, a good stuff to play. I'm excited for Sports Champion and Champions and skateboarding, Simpsons skateboarding. I'm definitely looking forward to revisiting Homefront, playing through the Ratchet and Clank series. I will definitely stream Wii Music. I'll make sure I stream that. I will figure out a way to make that work. So, subscribe to the channel for that. And the final thing that I did get from everywhere, this is the little extra here. Pac-Man, the board game. I know nothing about this, but for $2.99 at Goodwill, you bet your butt that I went ahead and checked it out. So this game, from what I could tell, had everything in it. Put that there. It had this scoreboard card that still has Mandy, Phoenix, and Grandpa's scores on them. Grandpa clearly won. Grandpa is the GOAT when it comes to the Pac-Man board game. We have the instructions, which is really cool. The pop-out for all the pieces, which you don't really need, but, it's there. The board, which has all the pegs. I don't think you can lose these. But yeah, they have all the pegs, all the pieces. And the dice, Pac-Man himself, and all the ghosts. Everything is here. All the cards, there's cards here. I don't know what that is. I don't know, it was complete. Oh wait, is this, they have blank scoreboard cards. That's awesome, I love that. That's cool. Okay, I didn't even notice that when I first got it. But yeah, I really excited for this. This is a mess. I give up on this already. But yeah, I don't know anything about this. I tried looking up when it was made. I see this selling on eBay for around $20 to $30. So, paying $2.99 was a great deal. I'm looking on the side here for a copyright. Or like a year even. I don't know. I know that there was a vintage 1980s Pac-Man board game. Made by, I think it was Milton Bradley or whatever. But yeah, this one, I don't know. I don't know when this one was made. I assume early 2000s, maybe? I can't find anything about it. So, if you have any information on Pac-Man, the board game, let me know. Because I would love to know more about this. Anyway, I appreciate you clicking on the video, especially if you stayed this far. I do live stream once a week, typically Friday night or Saturday morning. So subscribe, click the bell, and yeah, stick around. More stuff to come. I have a lot of video ideas focusing on more retro classic gaming. I do have modern stuff too, as you might tell from my desk here a little bit. I just got the Switch 2. I do have I do have more of a review video in the works for that, sharing my thoughts after using it more in depth. But yeah, that's what I've picked up today so far, or July so far. Might be more, might be a part 2 for July. But yeah, again, appreciate watching, and I will catch you guys in the next one.